if any Muslim does a mistake, they blame it on the religion. If a non-Muslim does a mistake, they don't blame it on the religion. Why? Today, if I ask you the question, which human being in the history of humanity has killed the maximum human beings in the world? Can you guess? Hitler. Very easy. You don't get a reward for that. Very easy. Hitler. Who was he? Was he a Muslim? He was a Christian. Did he go to madrasa? No. So that time they will not say that Christianity advises that it should kill 6 million. Why? Today when the Western world is talking about, Muslim terrorists, if you go to UK, you might have heard of IRA, Irish Republican Army. Irish Republican Army, it's a Catholic terrorist group. It's basically difference between Catholics and the Protestants. It's 100% on religion. Yet, no one calls them as Christian terrorists or Catholic terrorists. They are called as Irish terrorists. Why? LTTE, now they're not there. Liberation Tamil Tigers, Elam. They're Christians, they're Hindus, but they're called as Tamil Tigers. Today, the maximum killing done in India is by whom? Is by the Maoists. They're communists. Ulfa, they're Hindu organization. The main purpose is to attack the Muslims. But they never call as Hindu terrorists. Why? Something happens in Kashmir, the media says Muslim terrorists have done the killing. Why? So this is the strategy of the media. They're double standards. If a 50-year-old Arab comes to India and comes to Hyderabad and marries an 18-year-old girl, it will become headlines. 50-year-old Muslim marries an 18-year-old girl. When a 50-year-old non-Muslim rapes a 6-year-old girl, it comes in newspapers. Why? These are the double standards of the media. And one of the strategies used by the media is that they do mention things which are correct in Islam, which are part of the Quran and Sunnah, but they say that these things are the problem for humanity. And I gave a talk on Islam, the solution for humanity. And what they say is the problem for humanity actually is the only solution for humanity. And this we'll discuss when we have our annual peace conference in Bombay by the title, Peace, Meaning Islam, the Solution for Humanity. And today, Muslims, they're labeled as fundamentalists. What is the meaning of the word fundamentalist? Fundamentalist by definition means a person who follows the fundamentals of one particular subject. For example, if a person wants to be a good mathematician, he should know, follow, and practice the fundamentals of maths. Unless he is a fundamentalist in the field of maths, he cannot be a good mathematician. For a person to be a good scientist, he should know, follow, and practice the fundamentals of science. Unless he is a fundamentalist in the field of science, he cannot be a good scientist. You can't paint all fundamentalists with the same brush, that all are good or all are bad. Depending in which field, depending upon in which subject, the person is the fundamentalist, you have to label him accordingly. For example, if you have a fundamentalist robber, whose profession is to rob, he's bad for the society. On the other hand, if you have a fundamentalist doctor, whose profession is to save human lives, he's good for the society. So you can't paint all fundamentals with the same brush. depending in which field, in which subject, the person is a fundamentalist, you label him accordingly. As far as I am concerned, I am a fundamentalist Muslim, and I am proud to be a fundamentalist Muslim. Because I know, I follow, and I strive to implement the fundamentals of Islam. And I know that there is not a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. There may be a couple of fundamentals of Islam because of lack of knowledge. The non-Muslims, they think it is against humanity. But the moment you give the background and the logical reason, there is not a single fundamental of Islam which anyone can point out which is against humanity as a whole. When we read the Webster Dictionary, it says that fundamentalism was a movement which first started in the early part of the 20th century by a group of Protestant Christians. These Protestant Christians, they protested against the church. The church initially believed that the message of the Bible was from God. These Protestant Christians, they said that not only is the message of the Bible from God, every word, every letter of the Bible is from God. If someone can prove that every word, every letter of the Bible is from God, then this movement is a good movement. On the other hand, if someone can prove that every word of the Bible, every letter of the Bible is not from God, then this movement is not a good movement. When we read the Oxford Dictionary, it says, when we read the definition, it says that fundamentalist is a person who strictly adheres to the ancient teachings of any scripture. The teachings of the ancient scriptures of any religion. Fundamental by definition means, according to Oxford Dictionary, a person who strictly adheres to the ancient teachings of the scripture of any religion. But when we read the revised edition of the Oxford Dictionary, there's a slight change in the definition. It says that fundamentalist is a person who strictly adheres to the ancient teachings of the scriptures of any religion, especially Islam. Especially Islam has been added in the definition of the revised edition of the Oxford Dictionary. The moment we hear the word fundamentalist, we start thinking of Muslim. So what initially the word fundamentalism was used for the Christians, today it is used for the Muslims. Holy war was used for the Crusaders, today it is used as jihad. This is media. The moment you hear the word fundamentalist, start thinking of Muslim, start thinking of extremists. And the Muslims, they are apologetic. No, I'm not a fundamentalist. You go on the back foot. No, I'm not an extremist. I tell the world that I am an extremist. I'm extremely kind, I'm extremely merciful, I'm extremely loving, I'm extremely honest, I'm extremely just. What's wrong with being extremely kind, extremely merciful, extremely honest, extremely just? Can anyone tell me, can any human being point out to me that why should I not be extremely honest and extremely just? You can't be partly honest when it benefits you, you're honest, when it does not benefit you, you're not honest. And that's what the Quran says. Quran says we should be extremely just, extremely honest, extremely kind. We should be extremists in the right direction. Extremists as far as the teachings of the Quran are concerned, as far as the teachings of the last and final Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should not be extremists in the wrong direction. Today, the media, they label Muslims as terrorists. And a very common statement used to come in the media a few years back. It said that every Muslim is not a terrorist, but every terrorist is a Muslim. And the reply to this statement is given by me in my lecture, is terrorism a Muslim monopoly? Time does not permit me to go into detail. In that lecture of mine, is terrorism a Muslim monopoly? I've done post-mortem of this statement and I've given the details. But today, the Muslims are looked upon as though they're terrorists. What is the definition? What is the meaning of the word terrorist? Terrorist by definition means a person who causes terror.